You think you've seen enemies to lovers. You literally know nothing. I'm about to introduce you to a book that made an entire generation question their taste in men. And honestly, we're all worse people for it. This is The Cruel Prince, and it's about to become your entire personality for the next 6 months minimum. If you're still here, congrats! You've survived more trauma than most young adult protagonists. Might as well reward yourself by hitting that like button. Meet Jude, our violence-choosing queen who decided being the only human in Fairy High School wasn't humiliating enough, so she's gonna try to overthrow the government too. Then there's Prince Cardan, who saw this angry mortal girl and decided to make tormenting her his life's work, but with undeniable sexual undertones. Buckle up, because we're diving into a world where assassination attempts count as foreplay, and family dinner involves actual murder plots. Your TikTok algorithm will never recover. But we're just getting warmed up here, people. 10 years old, parents brutally murdered, and instead of therapy, you get adopted by the guy who killed them. Already sounds like a Lifetime movie? Girl lands in this fairy realm where everyone's gorgeous and immortal. She's just there, with her human awkwardness and complete inability to read social cues. The fairy court makes mean girls look like a friendship bracelet workshop. These kids don't just exclude you, they'll enchant you off cliffs, for fun. Fairies can't lie, but they twist truth into weapons. Every compliment's a trap, every kindness has a price. Magical therapy sessions, but everyone leaves traumatized. Court lessons are how to be a functioning psychopath 101. They learn dancing and 17 different ways to kill someone with a butter knife. Prince Cardan arrives with main character energy, but make it villain. Like if a Disney prince went to therapy and decided chaos was more fun than saving anyone. This man decided making her life living hell was his calling. Magical roofies, public humiliation, targeted cruelty, and that's just Tuesday. But Jude said, you know what, if I can't out-magic you, I'm gonna out-violence you. Suddenly, we've got a training montage that's less Rocky and more how to commit war crimes with kitchen utensils. She's out there at dawn practicing until her hands bleed. Because apparently the appropriate response to magical bullying is becoming a sword-wielding menace. You think sword practice is intense? Wait until these two start sparring for real. While Jude's busy becoming a human weapon, the fairy court's having Game of Thrones, but everyone's hot and no one has reasonable conflict resolution skills. The High King's dying, everyone wants power. Standard Tuesday in Fairy. She becomes a spy. Girl who couldn't figure out basic social cues is now manipulating immortal masterminds. Spy lessons equal poison immunity and turning small talk into murder plots. Peak fairy curriculum. Meanwhile, Cardan's discovering that maybe being a complete nightmare isn't sustainable when you start caring about someone. Every conversation becomes this weird dance where murder threats somehow sound like pickup lines. Waltzing while discussing murder, spinning around while plotting coups. The schemes get more complex than Christopher Nolan's fever dreams. Double agents everywhere, conversations with 3 different meanings depending on who's eavesdropping. Training scenes that are just excuses for these two to beat the crap out of each other. They're sparring and everyone watching is like, y'all need couples therapy, not sword practice. And just when these two finally figure out their whole deal, plot twist time, baby. Just when you think you've got this mess figured out, Holly Black shows up like, surprise, everyone you trusted is garbage. The coup happens faster than your last relationship ended. 1 minute, everything's fine. The next minute, swords are pointing and everyone's playing musical chairs with murder. Battle scenes equal magical warfare where people get turned inside out and transformed into trees. Horror with sword choreography. Cardan gets crowned king. Should be great, except he never wanted the job and now he's stuck ruling while trying not to have a breakdown. But Jude's the one who orchestrated everything. Girl really looked at the situation and said, you know what would fix this? Making my enemy/crush into the most powerful person in the realm, while I have exactly 0 official authority. Peak strategic thinking. Create your own worst nightmare, but make it romantic. Then we get the scene, the coronation, where these two idiots finally acknowledge that all their hate flirting has been building to something beautiful and terrible. They're having this whole emotional breakthrough in front of the entire court, and everyone's watching like, are they gonna kiss or kill each other? Because honestly, either would make sense at this point. Twist after twist keeps coming. Family secrets, crumbling alliances, and everyone's true motivation spilling out like the messiest group chat drama you've ever witnessed. But hold on to your emotional support books because we're about to personally attack your feelings. Remember how Jude thought magical bullying was the worst thing about her life? Because apparently her own family looked at her character development and said, let's ruin that. Taryn, sweet, innocent twin sister Taryn, delivers a betrayal so cold it makes Game of Thrones look like a friendship bracelet exchange. Apparently, betrayal is a love language in this family. Twin dynamic hits different, identical faces, opposite souls. That chasm swallowed their relationship whole. Then there's Madoc, adoptive dad, war general, and the man who killed her parents, but somehow still makes you understand why Jude loves him. He's got that I love you, but I'm still gonna destroy everything you've worked for energy. The exile happens so fast your head spins. One moment, Jude's finally figured out her place. The next, she's getting banished like she never mattered at all. Exile equals magical divorce papers from the entire realm. Brutal. But the real kicker? Cardan's the one who banishes her. The guy she finally let herself care about looks her dead in the eye and sends her away. If you're still here, you're officially in too deep. Might as well subscribe before Jude makes another life-ruining choice. Except we all know that's not the whole story. Because this man's face during the exile scene, he looks like he's ripping his own heart out, but doing it anyway. Culture shock hits harder the second time around. After magical intrigue and deadly schemes, human high school feels like watching paint dry. Meanwhile, the fairy realm's falling apart because, surprise, remove the person who was actually good at strategy and things get messy fast. And that's when Holly Black decides to personally destroy every reader's sanity. The Cruel Prince rewrote the entire Enemies to Lovers playbook and then set it on fire for good measure. This is we're both broken and we're going to become stronger together romance, except the magic system has teeth. Character development through mutual destruction. They don't heal each other. They recognize the darkness and say, yeah, this works. It never lets either character off the hook. Jude's not innocent just because she's human. Cardan's history doesn't excuse his behavior. They're disasters who found someone equally unhinged. Can we talk about how this book made an entire generation realize they have a type? And that type is emotionally unavailable with homicidal tendencies? The cultural impact is honestly concerning. The world building isn't just pretty aesthetics, it's structures with actual weight, magic systems with rules that matter. Most books throw around court schemes, but then it's just people being mean at parties. This is actual strategy with actual stakes. The family drama? Devastating. Shows how love and betrayal exist in the same space. Emotional warfare, but make it literary. The romance builds so slowly you don't realize you were invested until suddenly you're yelling at your screen during the exile scene. Plus, the ending that just leaves you hanging like, excuse me ma'am, you can't end it like that. But also knowing that's exactly why you're about to buy the next book immediately. Holly Black really looked at young adult fantasy and said, y'all are playing it too safe. Then gave us morally questionable protagonists, realistic consequences, and a romance built on mutual obsession disguised as hatred. The Cruel Prince is a whole personality disorder, and we're all better for having experienced it, even if our taste in fictional men will never recover. Cardan Greenbriar is the worst thing that ever happened to Enemies to Lovers, and anyone who says otherwise can fight me in the comments. Seriously though, drop your hottest Cruel Prince takes below. Team Cardan did nothing wrong, or Team Jude deserves better. Because this comment section is about to become a battlefield, and I'm here for every chaotic second of it. Oh, and subscribe, because we're all coming back for the Wicked King anyway.